When I was a kid, I was a fan
of Superman.
Yeah,
and that's where you got your name from.
Nah, the motivation is different. I'm more of the philosophy of him than him himself. But pretty much, we might say yes, I'm a fan. Ubani, ukisema you're a fan, it kind of sounds like unasema. I'm going to be wearing tights and like walking around flying that type shit. Yeah.
I get you. So I'd love to know, when did you make your debut in the Kenyan music scene?
When did I make my debut in the Kenyan music scene? The first piece of music I ever dropped was in 2020. Imagine I decided to be a musician in like late 2018.
Okay.
And then I started pursuing it in 2019, and then I was like, I don't have the patience to wait for labels.
Yeah.
So I just dropped a project in 2020 with a friend of mine. Shout out to Zawadi. We dropped a 4-track EP, and we don't even tell people that anymore. Like, tunasikianga hizo songs, we're like,
yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah. And yeah, we were beginners.
Yeah.
But
everybody anatokeanga hapo, you just cringe so bad.
You cringe, yeah.
You used to do back in the days.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was reading your bio, and I'd love to know, what do you think sets you apart as a performer?
As a performer, I think for me, the thing that I like to do the most, and the thing that I like to do the most is to be musical as a performer.
Okay.
My experience has been, a lot of performers are very energetic, very aesthetically interesting, dancers, and by that I love it. It's such a spectacle to watch. But I like people like, what's an example I could give? Like people like Pink Floyd. Ni band. They're just a bunch of guys when they stand on the piano, and it's the music that speaks, and it's just the voices that speak.
Yeah.
There's no, it's your Adele type things. It's, I want you to appreciate the music. It would be nice if, in addition to appreciating the music, we're dancing. It would be nice if, in addition to that, we're kind of jumping around. But I really just want you to like, listen to the music. So yeah, so that would be, I communicate through the music, not through anything else, especially as a performer.
Yeah.
And that would be the thing for me, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Now, speaking about music, and your friend Zawadi and the EP that you released, I'd love to know, since 2020 up until now, what type of genre of music do you do?
That's a good question that I don't like. So let me give a bit of background. Yeah. I grew up, like most people that I know, I grew up super Christian, like zile households. Nakumbuka there's a time I had remember when Idios came out?
Who?
Idios. Yeah. So I remember I had that phone, and then I got nikeka Lil Wayne ka screensaver. Niliombewa, bro. Like nilitoa maombi, because it's like I grew up in those households where you don't listen to music, you don't, other than when you're worshiping in the house of the Lord. So when I decided I want to do music in 2018, mini kamwa, first of all, I don't know what music is. Mimi najua tu zile za church, but not as a church sijui zote, najua za church yetu. And our church was like Nigerian based, so I knew those Nigerian ones. But like, you take me to like even CU, and I didn't know. So when I decided to do music, I decided to learn everything. And I literally do mean, I would be studying classical music, I would be studying reggae music, rap music, rumba, sijui nini. So hata nikiandika, it's all there.
It's just, you're diverse.
It's just, it's all there. So you could listen to a project of mine, and maybe he project nimelini into a particular style, but alafu unapata the next day I'm singing blues, and then the next day I'm rapping, and then like I just kituka hiyo. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, coming right up is Visila by, no, it's Not For You by Visila. Then is this Dissuaded?
Dissuaded, yes.
Ooh, would I explain what that is? Is that a short?
Yes, it is Dissuaded, yeah.
That's a new word. I've learned it, but Nambia, what it means in the next for you. So coming right up after Not For You by Visila is Clark Keeng with Dissuaded. Enjoy. That was Dissuaded by Clark Keeng, and off air I asked him what type of genre this is, because it's a jack of all trades.
Yes.
So please let us know what Dissuaded is all about and the genre.
So genre, the best answer I'd give is, it is what I hear being made as pop music in the West, specifically like in the UK style. But yeah, Dissuaded. The song is just about you're in that state where I'm having a war of ideas. So you believe, and it happens when you're growing. It could be with a relationship partner, it could be with a career, whatever. You've been down one path, all of a sudden you've stumbled on new information and you're not sure whether you're doing the right thing anymore. So you're warding between niache, do I try something new? So yeah, that's what the song is about. It's pretty much a war of ideas.
I think that is where I'm at life right now. And I feel like if you have like some your warrior ideas, you end up doing nothing.
Yeah, it's paralyzing. It's very annoying.
You think I can do this, I can be a singer, neza kwa acrobat, I can be sakaja,
but also have these papers, neza push law kidogo,
neza kwa lawyer, neza fanya medicine, neza kwa gaina, then you end up doing nothing.
You're just sitting there worrying all day.
Exactly. You feel like you're perfect in everything. That's what's up. So what's the genre you're dissuaded?
I would say British pop, to the degree that I can say that.
Dissuaded is a new word. Kwa wale watu wajui what it means to persuade or advise not to do something.
So it's the opposite of persuade.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes.
So how do you want your audience to resonate with your music?
It's a good question. I think I want them to pay attention.
Okay.
I don't think I make the kind of songs and any vibe. I mean, there's vibe to it, but my objective is not that song inacheza kwa background na nyinyi mna, like what happened to Kuna Dawa. And that's a dope song, by the way. But like your song, what walikuwa na vibe to it. Nobody was taking the message like, this song is natangazia. No, they're like, this song sounds good, let me dance to it. But I'd like for the people who listen to it to sit down, hear what I did, hear what I said, hear what I meant. It's my way of talking to people. That's how I'd want them to resonate with it.
Oh, now coming right up is Euphoria. Tell me more about it. What was the inspiration behind it?
Okay, so this project has a theme. So even with Euphoria, it's now in Dissuaded, I'm talking about how you're having a war of ideas. In Euphoria, I'm talking about you've made a decision to try out something new. But so when you're going into something, there's always naysayers who tell you how bad this thing is. So you decide, I'm going to become a musician, and then you go ask some people, what do you think? And they're like, hey, the music industry is bad. Don't try it. So you're walking into this thing, but you're there thinking, this thing might not work out. That's what Euphoria is about. So it's me saying, you're trying to lie to me, whatever this thing is. Ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to Clark Keeng with In Euphoria, then followed right up is Timmy Blanco with The Put On, and it's exactly 26 minutes past 7 p.m. You know the vibes, keep it Baze Radio. Motion by Yozowo featuring Kinoti, then followed right up to Kona Insomnia, in brackets Imeandikwa Day, like Clark Keeng. Hey, insomnia during the day. Something like that.
This is crazy. Like, I don't, like, let me tell you something. I love interviewing everybody, but I find you quite interesting.
Oh, thanks.
Because for the very first time, interviewing an artist and they have a story behind their project is crazy. Because we have sijui mademu wa Mirema wamefanya sijui nini kisha sijui dudha and all these things. It just makes no sense, but I love how your songs zina make sense, zinafuatana, you have an explanation behind it. Unjanga tu msana sema niliamua tu kuandika na tu dem gym akona nini amebeba nikamwa, this is an inspiration, let me write it down. So talk to me about Insomnia.
Okay. In na kwanga fan wa vitu kwa opposites, right? Okay. So unajua they people who are troubled wanakwanga na shida ya kulala. Hata wewe mwenyewe, like even me, I know when I'm going through something, sleeping is like, it's a joke. But now I was thinking about normally if you stay up for a long enough time because of insomnia, your brain starts to get a bit how would you say, inakuwa fuzzy, such that kama 1 week imepita, 2 weeks have passed and you have not properly slept, you start blacking out, like you start not being able to function like a normal human being. So I wrote a song that is supposed to be reminiscent of an individual who is, so there's an interlude right before the song and it's called What's My Name, because the point I'm making there ni hata mimi what's going on anymore, like nimerambo hadi it's gotten to this character I'm talking about has gotten to a point where it's gone. He has no conception of themselves, so imefika to a point where they're not even sure what their name is, they're not sure when they should be asleep or awake.
Yeah.
So here they are struggling to sleep and it's daytime, and that doesn't make any sense.
Ooh.
And even the song itself is just a very confused piece of art, let's say. It's just confusion, because that's what insomnia is.
Hey, great, Charlie. I need to listen to this. Able tell me where I can listen to your songs. Spotify?
Everywhere. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music. You tell me. It's you. If you
definitely have a follower here.
Kabisa.
I like it. There's a fan.
There's a fan like here.
I'm sick and tired of listening to
I know.
Back. Hey,
but it's one of the things that inspires me to write. I write what I want to hear that I'm not hearing. Yeah. In my opinion, I feel like there's such good music out there. That's not the issue. The issue is that I don't hear a story the way I'd like it told, so like this project it's a project of like somebody going from one stage of life to another, and I'm trying to explain that process. So now I'm in the stage where you've struggled with the decisions, you've tried something new but you're doubting, and now you're confused, and that's what insomnia is supposed to be. And then and this project is like one part of like a bunch of other projects that will tell a full complete story, because I don't see that being done at least as much as I'd like it to.
No one is doing it. Like you're not seeing it. It's because it's not there.
It's not there.
So I'd love to know, what's the name of this project?
It's just called One.
One?
Yeah. Just One.
What's the reason behind it, Amatuni?
Kutakuwa na 2 na 3 na hadi kwenye taishia.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please let us listen to Insomnia. Bracket is data. Due to measure kukuwa na Insomnia usiku. By Clark Keeng. Enjoy.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you guys, we've just found out something that is really, really shocking, because in the studio we have Clark Keeng, and he actually looks like Brida. So we just ended up talking about Brida's age. You guys will not believe it that this year Brida will be turning 27.
Damn.
Hey, tukubodishie lakini.
Damn.
Hey. Say rada. Hey, how is this? Hey. What Google inasema he's about 32.
Yeah, Google is like, nah, this guy.
We are also trying to find out. But anyway, it's exactly 11 minutes to the top of the hour. That is 8 p.m. And we are in the second hour of the show. And we are getting juicy and getting saucy with Clark Keeng, who is just explaining his project called One. And off air, I ended up asking him a question, because in the previous link, you mentioned about how clean your music is, and how it's different from other people. And I've actually even acknowledged it.
Yeah.
So we live in Uko Kenya.
I live here.
Uko US.
Siko US. Ni kweli.
And in Kenya, things that trend the most is basically artists speaking about women's bottoms.
For sure.
And whatnot.
For sure.
So the fact that you're doing yours a little bit different, where a song has a story to tell and it's really, really inspiring. Do you think that is sustainable as an artist in Kenya? If yes, why? If no, why?
Okay. I think it's not just Kenya. I think honestly there's a space and time for everything, senior.
Yeah.
So singetaka kwa wedding yangu mnaniimbia deep worship. Ningetaka mnaniimbia like a fun reception-y song,
Okay.
So there's a time to go, and if you went out to a club or to a party and then wanza kucheza Adele, like hapo wame miss. So there's time for everything. So the kind of music I make is focused on, I'm trying to storytell in a way that is unique to my knowledge and my understanding.
Yeah.
And the stories that I'm trying to share are also, they're relatable. They're not ati stories zenye zangu tu, but pia kuna element ya selfishness in them to some degree. Factoring in the audience is something that, we actually mentioned this a bit off air, and factoring in the audience is something that, okay, mimi fikiria hivi, kuna wase wenye wana trend settingi, kuna wase kama Reckless atakama sema yes bana. Right, na itaenda. Alafu kuna wasi kama, and this is not shade in any way, this guys like Calligraph who'll come and, we amesema yes bana, let me make a song called yes bana. Let me ride off of a trend, which is still an ability, it's still a thing to do. So for me, naangalianga wasanii kama, your job is to tell people. Your job isn't to copy from what the culture is currently doing.
Yeah.
Although that's also a form of usanii.
Yeah.
So the kind of usanii I do is, mimi najaribu ku create my own things. Najaribu kuambia watu, sit down, this is what you need. This is what you should be hearing.
Yeah.
And the challenge with that is, with any product, with any new product, imagine going to tell somebody, here's a thing you don't have but you need, that you have to learn how to consume, and take it by force. So the way I sustain myself in the industry is I work in the industry for other artists. I be doing background vocals, nachezanga watu, piano. I do, studio BGVs for a lot of artists and things like that. And that's how I make a living to the degree that I do. Although even that is not great. But in terms of the music itself, bringing in resources, it's a time thing. I don't know that it's sustainable. At least it's not been my experience. But I'm hopeful that if my brain, mimi mwenye nimezaliwa nikalelewa hapa Kenya, if my brain can think like this, then so can Kenyans. Like I'm not the only one. So I'm pretty sure if I sang this enough and pushed it enough, it'll resonate somewhere. And with enough time, there'll be people who come and be like, I appreciate what you're doing.
Okay. I see your vision, and I dig it.
Thank you.
Really interesting. Like I don't find artists interesting from a radio presenter perspective.
Yeah, I hear you.
Tell us about your song, what inspired you. Niliona dim gym. Kwa Mirema. Nilikuwa mbali kuchini Mirema.
Hii Mirema imesemwa.
It irritates me, man.
Kutanyesha.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, where can we get your music as we wind up?
We can get my music if you stream music anywhere. You will find me there. If you're on Boomplays, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, you name it, I'm there. Yeah.
And what about your handles?
My handles. My handles are everywhere. So TikTok, X, Instagram, I think Facebook. I'm not sure, but najua ni Clark Keeng. That's Clark and then Keeng.
ENG.
Yes.
Okay, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, OLB.
Yes,
what does that
OLB.
mean?
Hey, you're story.
We can talk about it in the next few minutes.
In the next few minutes, let's go.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, OLB by Clark Keeng. Then Kama Hauna by Nikita Kering, Dovuku, and Scam Karimani. That was Nikita Kering featuring Kemena with Let You Down. And it's exactly 12 minutes past 8 p.m. My name is Atino, your host every single weekday evening from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. on the 6 to 9 with Atino right here on Baze Radio. And in the studio with me is Clark Keeng.
Yes.
And a couple of links ago, we were talking about OLB, which you have played in the studio. And you said it's a long story.
Bit of a long one, yeah.
Give me tea about it.
Tea about the story. Okay. When you do peep the project, the intro is called Operation London Bridge. That's what OLB stands for. That's the name of the in the monarchy in the UK. When you die, when a monarch dies, they have to plan out this person's death. So like if you die here, or if you die outside the country, or if you die in whatever place, this is how your funeral will be, except this is what they'll sing. So you pretty much plan your own funeral. So when the Queen planned her funeral, she called it London Bridge. So when she died, the first thing they put everywhere was, we're commencing Operation London Bridge. Okay. And like I said, this project is a project about transitioning from one phase of life to another. So the full song, Ukenda Kusikiza, it begins with a chant, ya Kiluya, a circumcision song. I found those two ideas very interesting. Okay. Because again, circumcision is the same thing. It's the death of your childhood, and then at least for guys, it's supposed to symbolize the death of your childhood and the beginning of your adulthood. How they did it back then, see when you're finding us easy for health reasons. So OLB is a song about you coming out of you coming out of this place of being, because when the Queen dies, if you're a monarch, if you're a prince, if you're next in line, they don't care where you are, what you are doing. So for example, when the Queen's father died, she had come to Kenya, she was doing her honeymoon. As soon as the king dies, wanamwambia uko honeymoon, we're already on our way, tunakam kukusua inu unaanza kazi immediately. They're like, oh, do I have time to leave? Sijui, do I have time to at least finish my honeymoon? Sijui, it's almost like wakikupata unakufa wanakwambia pause, utaendelea baadaye, job imeanza. So there's an involuntariness to growing up, let's say, to moving on to the next phase of life. You're sitting there, you're minding your own business, boom, you're pregnant or something. No. And it's like, no, siombi hivyo, sikuombi hivyo. Nasema tu.
Acha nikwambie, if it ever happens at a boom, Niko na ball. Boom, Mary stops.
No, for sure. But either way,
LeBron James.
Either way, LeBron James is crazy. Either way, whether you go Mary stops or you decide whatever decision you make, this is one of those things that happens to you and it's gonna change your life.
Yeah.
Drastically, for sure. You know. Na haikulizangi permission, haikulizangi uko ready. Wacha tu. So OLB is a song about like you're sitting there minding your own business, and then life tells you, oh, it's time to grow up, and then it kind of throws you off the cliff.
Yeah.
So the reason it's called Operation London Bridge is I'm trying to say the queen has died. The previous person who was in charge has died, and you're being called to step up into this new life you're supposed to lead.
Yeah.
Now how ready? You're still there like, oh, but I'm children's. Oh, but I'm CG. What life is like. So start paying bills. Start getting things done now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for real this time, that was Clark Keeng. You can stream his music everywhere: Apple Music, Spotify, Boomplay, YouTube. You can check him out. Then on all social media platforms, that is, you mentioned even TikTok as well.
Even TikTok,
Instagram, X, Facebook. It's Clark Keeng, and King is spelled K-E-E-N-G. With that being said, Juanita with photocopy, and it's exactly 17 minutes past the top of the hour. Keep it Baze Radio.
This is Baze Radio.
We are 254 to the core.